look at me. I'm Julian.
Anybody that it's got something intelligent, it's got a cool little setup, it's got an interesting personality, and it can sell an interesting conversation, theoretically can start a podcast.
100%.
Yeah.
Yes, sweet.
Are we recording to a click track?
Have I got this hard panned?
What tempo are we talking
What tempo
at?
are we talking at? What tempo are we talking at? Yeah, sick. Yeah, thanks for coming, Bray.
Yeah, man.
Thanks
glad
for
to be here.
being hopefully my first guest on this podcast.
Yeah, stoked. Shout out to my girl Lola over there.
Hey, Lola. How you going? It was really strange. It seems like you're in one earphone over here. Maybe it's got something to do with this adapter.
Yeah, I don't know. There's like a weird phase kind of effect going on, but I kind of like it. I feel like I'm in a spaceship or
Cool.
like a 70s prog album.
Do I sound like I'm more in the right ear or left? Because I think I sound like I am in the right ear of this headphone.
You sound like you're in stereo. You're like
To you?
You're all around me.
I'm in. Oh, whoa! No, it's just changed. So it must be the adapter.
Yeah, probably the cable just being.
Oh,
goofy.
I don't like the difference of this. One looks way louder than the other.
Am I audio too?
I think you're audio one,
Oh, okay.
but hopefully all of this can just be changed in post anyway. I figure I can just turn all of the volume up and EQ it.
Bit of delay, bit of
Yeah.
chorus.
Put in my own advertisements and stuff like that. Propaganda ads, things of that nature. This is probably, I consider this my third attempt at starting a podcast.
Okay.
The first attempt went very well, and I started a podcast and it was called Wogs Going On. And it was based on the pun, because I used to work with a guy at Manny's named Brandon. Shout out to Brandon.
Hey, I don't know you, but you have a similar name to me, and that's cool.
He was a what are those wogs called? Not Mauritius. Pastizis? Who are the ones that eat pastizis?
Maltese?
Maltese.
Ah, yes. Like
Yeah.
like a small fluffy dog.
Yeah, he was Maltese. And so therefore we were both the wogs, and so we started Wogs Going On. I think we got about 20 episodes deep, but then circumstances made it so that we couldn't continue, basically.
Oh.
But 20 episodes deep was pretty good.
Yeah, that's fair innings.
It was a bit more... we liked to embrace the tangent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta.
Yeah, and just see where things sort of go. But anyway, I don't have a name or a particular theme for this thing yet. It's just something that I wanted to do. I just wanted to start talking to people because that's how you learn.
Mm.
And yeah, we'll just see how it goes, I guess.
Yeah. Give it a red hot go.
So you were saying that you used to be in a band
Yes.
and you used to eat the entire sunflower seed,
Yeah, just
cover and all.
just to draw the ire of my drummer. He thought
Wow.
it was. I mean, I was like, yeah, he's got a point. I probably shouldn't be eating the whole thing, but his reaction was too good, so I just kept doing it. Yeah.
Not quite spite eating.
No, it was like, I'd say friendly spite eating. You know, there was like a little bit of spite involved, but all in good fun. You know,
I guess if we eat while we talk, it could become some sort of like
ASMR.
Yeah. I only recently heard about what that is. And I heard that there's this thing that people listen to where it's just people whispering like this.
Yeah.
They whisper really quietly about what's going on in their lives.
Maybe there's like a little comb next to the microphone as well. You can do the comb sounds. Just imagine a comb just going, doing the comb thing.
Lola, come on.
Sick 'em.
For those not wondering, we've got some watermelon and some pineapple here for our pleasure.
Pretty decadent.
Pretty decadent. One day I hope to have women feeding me and my guest grapes. But I'm at least 2 episodes away from that.
Could have some sort of rotary or pulley system with a pincer rod maybe simulate it. You need an extra crew member for that.
Once I get microphones that aren't handheld, I'll be able to install that pulley system and we can operate it ourselves.
I'm digging this handheld mic thing. I feel like I'm on stage. I'm cracking wires.
Trying bits out.
One person in the audience is really fucking with it, and everyone else is kind of just enjoying the gin tonics.
Fake studio laughter would be a good thing. One day, I'd like to have like a sampler that has like pre-installed sound effects, and I can just be really obnoxious with it. Because I always think of things in terms of like seasons and eras and stuff. And I used to say about what was going on, I was like, one season I'm going to get a vocoder, and all of my dialogue is going to be played through the vocoder as I'm like talking, just to annoy people.
Oh, no, that's a really good idea.
Well, not just to annoy people; it's actually to amuse myself.
Yeah,
it's actually more accurate.
No, I like. One of my few sort of hard opinions in this life is vocoders are always okay.
It's a hard opinion that's never changing.
Nah, you can't change my mind.
Yeah. So when you say like 70s prog, you think, oh, what kind of band was the band that you were in?
So we were called Anime Girls and
Anima Girls.
Anime Girl.
Anime Girls. Sorry, I said that I wouldn't say stupid things like this on this podcast. I wanted it to be really sincere, but there we go.
I mean, you can be sincere and talk about animes, I think.
Well, we can. I definitely.
I had this anime the other day. Oh, life changing.
An enema is not the enemy.
No.
Oh, sorry, Eve. This has already gotten vulgar. Like 2 minutes in.
Yeah, Anime Girls. Also pretty vulgar. We were just sort of like a noise rock band, punk band. Really playing on the like weeby basement dwelling kind of trope. Which got old pretty quickly, but yeah, fun music. Just playing loose and noisy.
What did you release any music?
Yeah, we got like some stuff on Bandcamp. We did like we did t-shirts.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Can you still buy the t-shirts?
I don't think so, but I see people like at gigs.
I see people walking around with our shirts though. So
Yeah, I literally do. Like,
do you?
Yeah,
wow.
yeah.
So you might, wow, that's cool.
Yeah, like a couple of friends have them, so they bust them out. But yeah, I've been to like gigs and I've seen someone wearing one. I'm like, wow, that's.
Did you say, hey, that's my band?
Nah, I just kind of like hide in the corner. I'm like,
Don't recognize me.
Yeah.
I pulled my wide brim hat down over my face.
Yeah, that was the old me. I'm into like new wave like whale call music these days.
Whale call?
Yeah. You like dial in a setting on your Yeah, that's what you're going for. Like a bit of reverb, and then you just sort of let that go for like 2 hours, and then money rolls right in.
What instrument did you play?
Guitar. Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. Fun side note, I used to use the Bad Monkey Overdrive by, I think Digitech or DOD. Got for like $50 at JB Hi-Fi. Then some like YouTube channel did a video recently where like the guy was like, oh, this is like, better than a Klon Centaur or whatever. And people are like flogging it for like up to $1,000 now. I'm like,
Really?
I got this thing from JB Hi-Fi and like, I was like, yeah, it sounds pretty good. And now, people are frothing it. Like,
They still make it?
no, I think they discontinued it, so that's sort of adding to the mythos. But yeah,
Isn't that interesting how things sort of like come back into vogue?
yeah.
Or the cheap stuff becomes sought after?
Yeah, well, the same thing happened with like Josh Homme actually. Like, he was talking about how the secret to his tone was like a crappy little like PV practice amp, and then like the resale on that online just skyrocketed. Like, yeah.
Or like electronic, like drum machines and synths.
Yeah.
Just generally, that happened.
Yeah, everyone at the time's like, oh,
The Roland stuff.
this is trash. Like it sounds terrible, and then everyone's like, oh, this sounds trash.
This is unusable garbage.
Yeah. Now it's like, oh, this is like.
I'll take whatever I can get for it.
Yeah.
I'll swap this drum machine for a McDonald's Happy Meal. Gladly.
It's all about the toys.
Are you much of a gearhead?
Oh, like.
You don't strike me as one, at least compared to other people that I've met that are like crazy into it.
I like kind of keeping up with stuff and like doing my research and like watching videos and stuff. But realistically,
I guess it depends on whether you can afford to be a gearhead. Can you
Exactly.
afford to be a gearhead?
I don't got the money.
Yeah.
So I can watch from a distance and salivate and just sort of like try and emulate the sounds I want with, whatever I can get my hands on.
With digital crap.
Yeah, whatever. But I don't know. I find like having cheap gear or limited gear is kind of more beneficial to creativity. Like, yeah, you kind of boxed in, but that makes you sort of think outside the box rather than like having access to all these sounds and parameters and then kind of having option paralysis, like,
Definitely.
yeah.
Yep. I'm like that with just ideas in general, irrespective of the gear. And then the gear only makes it worse. And then working at Manny's only makes it worse.
Yeah, exactly.
Endless guitar pedals and like, the amount of money that I poured into that. But it's the same with like books and stuff. I could do the same thing with books.
Yeah.
The last thing I need is more books. But
Yeah. You read Slaughterhouse 5 yet?
No, not yet. But if we ever do a second podcast together, I'm sure I will definitely read it before that so we can talk about it.
I remember today actually that they did adapt it into a film in like the 70s, and it's somewhat decent. Like it would have been a really tricky book to adapt, but they did it justice.
Yeah.
I think.
Somewhat decent.
Yeah, like it's not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to like, reach the pinnacles that book does. Like it's just something else. But
It's hard for any movie to live up to the book.
yeah, exactly. Like it's
Or surpass it. That's why, like, I think what comes to my mind first is Lord of the Rings gave as good a crack as any film ever at trying to be as good as the books, and I think that they probably succeeded because, like, a lot of people would argue that they're the best trilogy of films ever made.
Yeah.
And rightfully so. That's a fair argument to make.
And even more interesting considering like Peter Jackson came from like a really like skeezy B-grade horror movie background as well.
Skeezy.
Yeah, like really like just gross and like
Low budget?
yeah, low budget. But I believe like he started or his friends started like Weeda, the workshop that did all the sort of practical effects and costumes on
For the movie. Yeah.
Yeah, but they started back with his like earlier films where it was like gore and schlock. So yeah, a lot of the cool stuff you see in Lord of the Rings is like born out of like low budget horror movies and yeah, it's cool. It's
So
cool.
he hadn't really done anything of renowned, quote unquote, like world renowned stuff prior.
Yeah, not really. I think
Nothing we would call big.
he kind of had a breakout with the Frighteners in the 90s, the early 90s with like Michael J. Fox.
Okay. I can't say I've heard of that movie.
Yeah, it's good. It's like it's very much like a cheesy horror movie, but with a bigger budget and with like like famous people attached to it.
Yeah.
And then he did like a drama movie, I think with Kate Winslet. And then it kind of just somehow got Lord of the Rings.
Because it's interesting how a lot of like directors and stuff, when they get these like ginormous budgets, it almost like works in the reverse of the film, like in terms of quality and stuff. Almost
Yeah.
like what you're saying about the decision paralysis. Like they've just got too much money to indulge in, and the movie ends up sort of suffering. Whereas like maybe the fact that he had never had that big of a budget or studio behind him or whatnot sort of worked in the film's favor.
Yeah, but like I
Like you
guess
see that here with the James Cameron films and stuff where they're just bloated. It's just
more green screen.
yeah.
More green screen. Yeah, but like I guess like with him, he was sort of used to like stretching like a tiny budget and like the stuff he did. Like it's a horror movie, but like Brain Dead, for example, is like third film I want to say, like zombie movie, but like low budget, but did probably still holds the title for like physically goriest film of all time, just based on like how much fake blood they used.
Oh wow.
And yeah, just like being able to like sink a part of your tiny budget and just flooding a room with like maple syrup and red food dye, like
Awesome.
yeah.
Did he direct the Hobbit movies?
I don't think so. I think he may have produced them or something, but yeah, he wasn't.
Surely not.
Yeah.
Another book movie adaptation that lived up or probably I'd say surpassed is The Shawshank Redemption.
Oh yeah.
That is probably one of the. It's definitely one of the best films ever, and I don't think the book itself is, or the short stories anywhere close to one of the best. It's not. It's far from one of the best Stephen King short stories.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I've read The Shawshank Redemption. I definitely read all like the little like Green Mile novellas.
Yeah.
But
I would argue that the Green Mile movie is better than the book.
yeah, you know, like Stephen King's funny. Like, just he's like so prolific and like.
Just keep them out. Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah, he's so prolific and like his own output varies so much in terms of quality, and then like, you know, people will buy like some of his lesser known work for like chump change. Like I think Lawnmower Man got sold for like,
Is that actually a Stephen King book?
yeah,
Lawnmower Man.
yeah, and like
There's
you
a
know,
band name.
yeah, it's I think yeah, that got sold for like, you know, like $1 or something, and yeah, they just took the name and the fact that like Stephen King was attached to it and just made a like loopy fucking like VR man becomes like God through the power of VR kind of movie.
Is that a recent book or short story or something?
Nah, like I don't know when he wrote the book, but it would have been like a mid-90s like yeah, like lots of like early like CGI, like really janky like
Man becomes God through VR.
yeah, it's like the synopsis is like Pierce Brosnan's like a professor, right?
Pierce Brosnan's in it.
Pierce Brosnan's in it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sick.
and like, yeah, I don't know. It's been a while since I've seen it. Mostly, I just remember the opening scene where a monkey's in VR and becomes like a super soldier.
Oh, this sounds great.
Oh, it's really good. But yeah, like Pierce Brosnan finds like a, you know, mentally like diminished like farm boy or something. He's like, oh hey, like I'm gonna like plug you into VR, and like, you know, farm boy becomes like super smart and then gets like superpowers through like VR.
Oh, I love all of it. This sounds amazing.
And yeah, all the like the scenes in virtual reality are just like low polygon count, like 90s CGI. It's
Great.
beautiful, yeah.
Yeah, sick.
Yeah. But yeah, it's got nothing to do with the Stephen King book. Like I think the Stephen King book's like more or less about some kind of weird Lawnmower Man hybrid. And they were just like, oh look, we'll just, I don't know, take it.
We'll just say that it's based on the Stephen King book.
Yeah.
but-
People like Stephen King, you know, this will help the movie sell.
Yeah.
I don't think it did. I think it was like very critically panned. But you know, those who enjoy real cinema,
Maybe they attached his name to it afterwards when they saw the final cut and realized that it was going to bomb.
yeah. I think that and The Shining are like the two adaptations of his that he's like the most outspoken and disliking them.
Oh, The Shining's such a good movie, though.
Yeah, again, I haven't read the book, but I can't imagine the book being better than the film.
I have read the book, and I wouldn't say it's better than the film. But I'm also biased because I saw the film first, and I love Stanley Kubrick. But I also love Stephen King. So I think it's such a great movie. Yeah. Yeah, I'd say it's a better movie than it is a book. But again, there's just so many great Stephen King books. Like I wouldn't put that one in my top 10.
Yeah, I think like as far as sort of like pulpy mainstream writers go, like Stephen King's just got it. Like, I guess he had that period in like the 70s and 80s where he was just like a coke fiend and just like spitting stuff out.
Yeah.
And like he was writing so much, he had to like come up with a pseudonym for himself and release it under that.
That's so cool.
Yeah,
Artists that can do that.
yeah, especially like an author.
Or even musicians that do that. It's like, how do they have time to have a family?
Yeah, or make money, or make dinner even.
Yeah. Yeah, or make dinner. No, I guess that's why they smoke so profusely.
I guess that's like the gold standard of life. Like, do you have enough time to make yourself a nice dinner? Like a nice, veggies, protein, carbs.
Do you have enough time to prioritize making dinner?
Yeah.
And the third one that comes to mind, which is close to my heart, is have you seen the recent Dune movie?
No, you keep mentioning this, and
I'm sure I do. That sounds like something I would do. Yeah.
I want to see it. Like,
Only because I was dreading watching it. I was just dreading it because I just didn't have any faith in Hollywood whatsoever to make the movie even halfway decent. And it's one of my favorite books ever. Probably my favorite book that's ever been adapted to a film, or at least a big modern sort of film.
and yeah, it's crazy that they even looked at that book, like even back in like the 80s when like Jodorowsky was attached to direct it, and then David Lynch did it. Like, even back then, I'm like, how would you look at a book like Dune that's so like dense and has so much like political intrigue and world building in it, and go, yeah, let's make like a 2-hour like Hollywood blockbuster out of this. Like,
Yeah.
it's, I don't know who was smoking what, who was snorting what, and was like, yep, Dune's it, baby. But yeah,
Dune's it, baby.
yeah, we got sandworms, man.
Was that first one intended to be a Hollywood blockbuster?
I think so, yeah. And then they're like, oh yeah, like David Lynch, he's like,
The It thing?
yeah, he's made like 2 like really strange films. Let's give him like a sci-fi epic, and like, this will make money.
And Sting's in it, and he's popular right now.
Yeah,
The police are huge.
But yeah, like not only have they made it twice, like from such a dense, like intriguing, like bit of book, bit of book.
Any other ones that you can think of that are like really, that just hit the mark in terms of book to film, or surpassed it? I guess Harry Potter did a good job.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I'm not going to stand here and say I dislike the films, but like, I did a pretty good job. I mean, I read all the books as a weean, and I feel like they translated that world to cinema like pretty faithfully.
I guess when they're not really the same it's wrong to say they're not the same caliber of book, but you can't really compare turning Harry Potter into a screenplay to turning Dune into a screenplay.
Yeah.
Or turning Stephen King stuff into screenplays.
But I guess like Dune ended up being like a big series as well. Like, I don't know how many Dune books there are, but I know there's more than one.
Yeah. I don't think there's zero chance of them turning all of them into movies.
Yeah. I know. James Cameron. Hit him up.
Yeah. Oh, please don't.
When you're done like mucking around with blue people. Like,
maybe for God Emperor of Dune they should get James Cameron, but
Yeah.
I don't have any faith in it being good.
we got the Avatar Dune cinematic franchise.
Crossover.
Yeah.
I don't know how the Avatar people what are their names? Do they have a name?
What, the blue people?
Yeah, does their race have a name?
Na'vi?
Na'vi. Yeah, I don't know how they'd go on Dune because all the sand, it's very sandy, and they seem like they're big fans of water.
Yeah.
Might be a bit of a culture clash.
Yeah. And the sand, I just cannot stress enough, sandworms. Giant sandworms. I'm all about that.
Yeah.
Now
when I look in my garden, I'm like, yes, grow my pretties, grow.
Other adaptations. I mean, like, you go see a film and you kind of go in, like, not knowing a whole lot, and, the credits roll up and it's like, oh, based on this. And you're like, oh, okay, interesting. I don't know. Can't really think of any off the top of my head.
I forgot or was never aware of the fact that James Cameron actually directed True Lies.
Oh man, True Lies. What a, like...
So good.
Yeah.
So good.
I remember watching that on TV, like, as a kid, and just, like, I'm like, damn, this is This is what I'm missing out on. I'm an M15 guy now. I can watch this. I can enjoy it.
That film like perfectly walks the balance between like serious action and like comedy as well. Whereas I feel like a lot of movies now, I don't want to fall down this rabbit hole of just bagging out all of the crap that comes out, but they always try and like shoehorn comedy into films that have no business being comedic, and it ruins the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like that movie is so funny, but so like just sincerely action packed. Like Bill Paxton's character in it, Arnie himself is just hilarious.
Yeah. Tom Arnold, like he's in it for some reason.
Is it that his colleague?
Yeah. He's like little like pudgy offsider.
When they blow up the bridge, that's such a great scene. The minigun for the Uzi falling down the stairs, and it just kills everybody. Oh man, yeah.
Oh, it's like. I don't know. It was definitely an era, like I guess, like the late '80s to mid '90s. Like the action movies, just like they hit all the marks. Like you want to go to a cinema and like have a good time, eat some popcorn, have a little chuckle.
They came back a little bit. I mean, it's not the same, but you had Taken.
Yeah.
When the first Taken came out, that was so huge. Like. I loved Taken, and me and my sister used to watch that all the time. Shout out to Nicole. I remember being in Europe, like we travelled through Europe, and one of the highlights was just Taken being on TV in our hotel room. Like I think we were probably in France or something like that, and it's like, do you want to go out and explore France? No, I'm going to stay here and watch Taken. This brings, I got some notes here, and this brings me to one of my questions. Sylvester Stallone or Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Oh, like Arnie for sure.
For sure, you say?
Yeah. I feel like...
It's not even a competition.
Nah, not even. Like, I mean... Stallone's just like...
I feel like this is one of those questions that could be a reoccurring question for people when I just shit talk about movies and stuff. Like, I feel like that's a really good question. I feel like Arnie would win out for most people.
I was going to say, I'd be surprised if someone was like Stallone. Like, I don't know. Arnie's got the range. Like, he's
far better comedic actor.
Yeah. I think Stallone's just funny, like, unintentionally, which, you know, merit in its own. But, yeah, I don't know. Like, Arnie's done, like, straight-up comedy. Arnie's, like, you know, better physique, you know, for, like, we're talking like
Ooh,
one-on-one.
Take that, Sylvester.
Yeah. Though, yeah, I don't know. First Rambo's pretty cool. I like that.
You take, to branch off that, Rambo or Rocky?
Oh, Rambo for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I agree. Yeah.
I
think I agree about Arnold as well, but I really love Demolition Man. And I almost think if I was to line up every Arnold movie and every Stallone movie, I feel like Demolition Man might be my favorite. Like, even including Terminator and stuff. Like, just I love Demolition Man so much.
I need to see that.
Oh, you've never seen it?
No,
mate, you've got a good time coming.
Yeah,
it's so cool.
I'm back in the mood for like cheesy action movies. Like I watched Under Siege the other night.
Oh, really? The first one?
Yeah, the first one.
Have you seen the second one?
No, but I'm gonna watch it.
You have to see it. Don't listen to what anyone says about it not being good. It's amazing.
I mean, I'm not gonna listen to anyone. I'm not like someone's gonna like say, "Oh, this action movie is shit. Don't watch it." Like it's an action movie. It's like if you're trying to criticize an action movie, you're not actually like enjoying the art form the way you should be.
Yeah. Before Stallone, before Schwarzenegger, before Bruce Willis, there was Steven Seagal.
Yeah.
At least in my upbringing, Steven Seagal was the GOAT when it came to those action movies. His early 90s stuff, that was my favorite.
Yeah,
I like to say it was a perfect transition from being a little kid and being into Thomas the Tank Engine that just prepped me for going straight into Under Siege 2 because it happens on a train, so it's just a perfect transition.
I guess like Steven Seagal has the same kind of like steely eye, semi like doughy glaze as Thomas the Tank Engine 2.
Oh my goodness.
My favorite thing about him is like, I don't know, he says his lines just so like matter of factly, like he's so calm, and then he'll just like gouge someone's eyes out and just
Yeah.
be like,
He rips out that guy's Adam's apple, like towards the end of Under Siege. So good.
yeah, he's just like,
That's a great movie. Gary Busey, Tommy
Yeah.
Lee Jones.
oh, Tommy Lee Jones in that is fantastic. Like he's got the disenfranchised like CIA rock star thing going on, like.
Do I look like a man who needs a medical evaluation or psychological evaluation?
It's like one of those films where you want the bad guy to win, kind of. Like, they've just got so much more charisma than, like, Steven Seagal, like, just sort of talking about his bouillabaisse and, like...
I love the quote where he goes, "You're incredible, Ryback. It's a shame you're not cooking for us." Because he's a chef, ladies and gentlemen. Ryback is a chef.
Yeah, I've my, like, kind of dives on Mr. Seagal.
Have you seen Mark for Death?
No, I'm going to have to go through and watch some
That's
of
a
his
great
stuff.
one. Mark for Death's a great one.
But he seems to have this, like, fascination with the CIA. Like, a lot of his characters are, like, ex-CIA or something.
Yeah, he's some vaguely former CIA operative type situation.
And, like, apparently he was, like, when he had his, like, dojo over in Japan, like, he was saying how he, like, trained CIA operatives. And everyone was like, nah, that didn't happen.
I'm pretty sure he married a chick who owned the dojo, didn't he? Isn't that what happened? Like,
There
it
was-
wasn't his dojo. It was, like, his wife's.
Yeah, or, like some... Yeah, he kind of inherited it off someone.
Inherited.
Yeah. And then he's got claims about, like, fighting off the Yakuza as well, like... Yeah. man's-
All confirmed. The Glimmer Man. That's a good Steven Seagal one.
The Glimmer Man.
Yeah, the Glimmer Man. Out for Justice.
What's the one where he's like, I'll take you to the bank, Senator Trent. The blood bank.
I have no idea. Sounds like a vampire movie.
He's like watching like some dude on TV, and the guy like it's like
Threatening him.
yeah, he's just like in a hotel room. He's like, yeah, I'll take you to the blood bank.
And he does. That makes me think of, I feel like to top my favorite Arnold Schwarzenegger movies, the one that would give Demolition Man the biggest run for its money would probably actually be Commando.
Oh yeah,
Commando's amazing.
Commander is just like such a high body count and
It's
like
so good.
no aiming whatsoever. It's
Nah.
just like everything's fired from the hip.
Yeah.
That's
He's throwing grenades and the people were like doing pirouettes, like synchronized, like.
and the bad guy in that, he's always wearing that like mesh tank top and like
And he sounds like he's Australian.
yeah,
Yeah, Bennett.
Bennett.
Let off some steam, Bennett. Such a classic.
You reckon they just write like an Arnold Schwarzenegger like action film around the one liner at the end? They start with that and they just work backwards.
I hope so. I wonder if they ever just. I wonder if any of those lines were ever improvised.
yeah, Artie's just like that. He's just actually really witty and like
I've got all these notes. Where should I go? Top 5 favorite movies. That's like a real asshole question.
yeah, it is a bit. So I really like Black Dynamite. That's kind of like my like.
Black Dynamite, if that is your real name.
I threw that shit before I walked in the room. Yeah, no, I could rewatch that movie. For the rest of my-
Infinitely.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's funny, it's goofy, but it's like a really genuine sort of homage to that era of filmmaking too.
Yeah.
Looks great too. Like 16 mil, like color reversal Kodak. Beautiful. Colors really pop. And it's funny. Mulholland Drive.
I've never seen that.
Yeah, it's
Can you tell me about it without spoiling it?
yeah, it's David Lynch doing his like kind of doppelganger shtick, like sort of like weird dual storylines, doing like Ouroboros sort of. But yeah, Naomi Watts goes to Hollywood, and like a mysterious girl wakes up in her apartment.
Is this a 90s movie?
I think it came out in like 2000.
Ah, okay.
99 or
Yep.
2000. Yeah. Yeah, kind of like a neo
When you say Ouroboros, are you talking about like the timeline jumps around?
sort of, it circles back in and on itself. Like, yeah, there's like a couple of films like that where it's like a really sort of, yeah, there's.
Like not like Memento, but Memento's one of those movies where I think Memento's more like there's half of it's going backwards and then half of it's going forwards.
Yeah,
It's
so
pretty cool.
Memento makes sense, like timeline wise. It's just sort of like, chopped up. Whereas other films like will do like a weird twist that doesn't really make any sense. It's kind of like, oh, that's like a brain bender. Like,
And Mulholland Drive is one of those films.
yeah, it's sort of like it's surrealism. Like,
Yeah.
it's a neo-noir, it's surreal. There's a couple of like really like, there's one scene in particular very terrifying, like one of the few good jump scares, I think. It's not even that much of a jump scare, but yeah, I don't know. Those who know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Well, I'll make an effort to watch it and then hopefully I will know.
Yeah, oh, you will. Yeah, that's up there.
Side note, have you seen The Departed?
Yes, I have, yes.
Not a jump scare, but I bring it up that when Leo got shot in that movie, spoilers, I did not see that coming at all. That was one of the most shocking moments in cinema history of my time watching movies. Like, that just did not see that coming at all. It rocked me. Like, it was just jaw on the floor stuff.
It's a good film. I've also seen the
Japanese one.
Hong Kong. It's
Hong
from
Kong,
Yeah, Infernal Affairs. Also pretty good.
That's a trilogy.
Yes, yeah. I don't think I've seen the other two in that trilogy, but the first one's very good. Big soft spot for Hong Kong cinema. They make some good shit. But yeah, I always think the end of The Departed's really like ham-fisted, where it like ends and then there's just that shot of the rat, like, yeah, okay, we get it. Like,
It's really on the nose.
yeah. Come on, Scorsese, you can do better than that. Yeah, good. And Jack Nicholson in that, he's just such a menace. He's really like, I don't know. I like to believe he's like that in real life.
Yeah, he has to be.
Yeah, this top 5 film questions, like,
It's cool because next time I ask you, it could be completely different.
yeah, that's the thing. Andrei Rublev.
You could do top 5 for just genres, really. Like if you're really a film, not buff, but if you enjoy a lot of film.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I'm too deep in the game. I like everything. I like bloody black and white art house films from the 60s, and I like Black Dynamite. Like,
Do you like to go through phases where you watch nothing but that style, or do you just jump around a lot?
yeah, I guess I kind of do that. Like, I will like definitely sort of fixate on a sort of a genre. Watch a couple of films in that sort of style, or I'll like pick up on a director. I guess like the last sort of director I was really doing a deep dive on was Ken Russell.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah, he British guy, I believe. Really like bombastic, outlandish, dare I say, blasphemous sort of films. And yeah, real sort of like camp sort of sense of humor running through it all, despite like a lot of violence and like drama as well. I think good place to start with him. Altered States, like 80s film. I forget who it is, the main character, but he's like a professor and he's like researching psychedelics. So he just takes a buttload of psychedelics and like hops in like isolation tanks and some crazy like
Wow, that movie's so far ahead of its time.
But
And crazy stuff starts happening.
Yeah. As any good film should be like. There's crazy stuff. Shenanigans ensue.
Are you? All right, no. So you still got 3 films.
Oh, man. Yeah, Andrei Rublev. If I'm talking like wanky like 60s films, that's old mate Andrei Tarkovsky from Russia. Yeah, that's about a
Is that the name of the film?
yeah Andrei Rublev. It's,
Oh, okay. Yeah,
name of
I was
the-
thinking that was a director.
Yeah, no, it's about a guy who painted like religious icons actually.
Oh, wow, cool.
Yeah, so it's sort of like a really like
And it's a 60s film.
yeah, I believe so, 60s.
Yeah.
Yeah, very very long, just sort of set in like medieval Russia.
Who, is it directed by a Russian?
Yes, yeah, on Tarkovsky. And yeah, it just takes its time telling this guy's story. A lot of the characters have discussions about like spirituality and God, and just like why should we like carry on in this sort of like horrible hellscape of medieval Russia. And yeah, really beautifully shot. And yeah, they end on like it's the film's in black and white, and then they end on just like a montage of all his like icons at the end with like
Is it a real guy?
yeah, real guy.
Oh,
yeah.
cool. True story.
Yeah, so it's like I don't know. I watched it. I was like I don't know, like hungover on a Sunday, and like I'm just gonna park out on the couch and just watch this like 3-hour long meditation of like this guy I
Great.
don't know his life, and
Great.
yeah,
Andrei Rublev.
yeah.
Where did you watch this?
I think I just downloaded it,
Yeah.
get those nice like Criterion Collection rips off Pirate Bay.
Yeah. Rest in peace.
Oh, it's still going.
Is it?
Yeah, Pirate Bay is eternal.
Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah.
That's comforting.
Yeah, I have a laptop dedicated to just pirating, obscure films.
I'll edit that part out.
Nah, I'll give you my address. You can come find me. Cease and desist. No one's gonna come after me. I download like stuff that isn't on like streaming services. Like like how else am I gonna watch it?
Because you've got like a movies one that comes up a lot as an advertisement. And I think that's got a lot of like foreign cinema and more obscure stuff than say like Netflix and things like that.
Yeah, their movie like changes it up at like once a month.
So all the same stuff isn't always available?
yeah, they'll put a film on, and the film's on there for a month, and then they'll like.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a good like it's a really good platform for watching stuff you wouldn't normally like watch.
Yeah.
And they do pretty good like curated sort of like they'll choose a theme and release movies like one a week that kind of correlates with it.
Yeah.
Like I think when I had a prescription yeah. I need my movies, man.
You need to watch more movies. I'm writing you a prescription. Thanks, Doc.
Yeah, they were doing like a sort of misunderstood like classics. And I watched Southland Tales by the guy that did Donnie Darko. It was his like follow up to Donnie Darko, and it killed his career actually. Like
What's it called?
Southland Tales.
Mm.
It actually it has Justin Timberlake and The Rock in it.
Wow.
And it's a
How could that be a flop?
yeah. Well, I know it like it goes.
What you're saying is it's not a flop, it's just misunderstood.
Yeah, it was like I don't know. It's I appreciate a film that like really just like goes all out and kind of doesn't hit the mark, but you can see what they were going for. But yeah, that's like a post-apocalyptic America.
Why doesn't it hit the mark?
Because there's just so many different like plot threads and like
It's not because of like bad special effects or something.
there's a bit of that, but like
Yeah.
I can always look past that. Like
Yeah.
the acting's crazy. The like just how many things they're trying to like concepts and themes they're trying to cram into this. Yeah, all the exposition they need to explain how the characters end up here. And yeah, it's like The Rock doing like an art house sci-fi film. Like it's
Yes.
But yeah, Richard Kelly, I think, the director of Donnie Darko and Southland Tales. I think he did one other film after that, but yeah, he pretty much tanked his career with it. He, I guess we're going back to I got a big budget. Let's see what I can do. And he really, he really
Used
ran
all
with-
of it.
Yeah.
Because Donnie Darko is a great film.
It is, yeah. And that's kind of like that's definitely like one of those like Ouroboros sort of films I was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Where it sort of circles back in on itself, and it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but you can kind of like, you know,
Yeah. Hence why you can spend your time thinking about it a lot.
Mm.
There's another movie that really sort of has echoes of Donnie Darko, but I can't remember what it is, but hopefully it comes to me. You got two more.
Two more.
Use them wisely.
I mean, I gotta say, The Big Lebowski. I love.
Oh, yeah, cool. All right.
I love The Big Lebowski. I like, on a
La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Like for Bob Dylan being such a great lyricist, that's some of his best work.
Yeah, like the dream sequences and that, and the soundtrack choice. Like, yeah, I don't know. That's like,
The Jesus.
yeah. He's a pederast, dude. Yeah, like that's a micro genre I think that needs to be explored more is stoner noir.
Stoner Noir.
Yeah. Like The Big Lebowski is definitely like probably the first in that sort of like canon.
So what makes it noir? Because I think noir, I think of black and white.
It's like
And that film is very colourful.
it's like the like classic, private detective on a case and all the twists and turns and like moral ambiguity and like. Except, like, with The Big Lebowski, the main character is kind of a detective, but he's also stoned out of his mind the whole time, and all the characters are so surreal, and the settings are surreal. And, like, yeah, it really, like, plays to, like, classic noir tropes, and also just on a real, like, whacked-out sort of tangent as well. Yeah, not many films out there that I can think of that really sort of do that. There's a couple, like... Inherent Vice, which is a good book adaptation, actually.
What's it called?
Inherent Vice.
Inherent Vice.
Yeah, that's got Joaquin Phoenix in it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, playing a perpetually stoned private detective.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And
Is it like an early 2000s movie or something?
I think it came out like, I want to say like 2015.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. It's got Josh Brolin in it as well.
Oh, cool, yeah. I like him.
Oh, and Owen Wilson as well. Owen Wilson pops up for a bit. Yeah, a lot of people don't like it, but you kind of have to go in expecting a really, like, I don't know, main characters are stoned off. There's, like, a weird conspiracy. It doesn't have to make sense. It's just about the journey,
Who directs it?
Paul Thomas Anderson. Yeah. Yeah, he's a good guy.
What else has he directed?
Like Magnolia, There Will Be Blood. Latest film is Licorice Pizza.
While we're on the Coen brothers, I really absolutely adore No Country for Old Men.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Endlessly rewatchable.
Yeah. I was talking to someone the other day, like, I didn't realize, like, at the end of the film when Anton Chigurh visits Llewellyn's wife that he, like, kills her in that scene. Like, you don't see it happen. I was just like, oh, he just, like, goes and visits her and
And they
tells
have a
her,
nice chat.
Yeah. Like, I just totally spaced on that. And I guess, like, there's so much other gnarly, like, shit that happens in that. And, like,
Yeah.
I just need a little bit of, like...
That's cold-blooded, eh?
Yeah. Yeah, like, fantastic, like, yeah, there's, like, the really, like, driest humor in it, and it's just, like, a nihilistic film at its core. Like, it's just, really peeling back humanity and exposing the worms and bugs underneath. Though it's, like, sensationalized,
Tommy Lee Jones.
Mm.
Javier Bardem.
Yeah.
introduces us to him. Woody Harrelson. I love Woody Harrelson.
Yeah, that's right. He's in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you ever see Money Train?
Money Train. Nah.
Yeah. Him and Wesley Snipes.
Oh, sick.
And Jennifer Lopez. Yeah. Great. So great.
I
I think it's late 90s action, or maybe it's mid 90s action. So good.
Oh, yeah.
Because obviously they're also in White Men Can't Jump. But then there's another movie that they're in, which is amazing.
I love Woody Harrelson in the first season of True Detective. Have you seen that?
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
Yes. I'd really like to watch that again, actually. I remember thinking incredibly highly of it.
Mm. And yeah, just the chemistry between him and Matthew McConaughey, just like butting heads all the time. Like,
Are you sad that somewhere there's a sack not being hacky? So good. Oh, so good. All right. You got one more for today.
one more. Oh, golly gee. You know what? I'm gonna cheat. I have a letterboxed account, which is like, where is my? Oh, it's over there.
A letterboxed account.
Yeah, it's like social media for movie nerds.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's pretty good. You can like log films you want to watch. And,
Oh,
like,
that's awesome. I need to jump on this. And it's just a community of film buffs.
yeah,
Well,
pretty
buffs.
much. Yeah, it looks like this. For those who are listening, I am showing Julian my phone, and the Letterbox app is open.
Yeah.
Okay, so. Oh yeah, Slacker. Of course, Slacker. Yeah.
Slacker.
Yeah, it's a real
Slacker.
no plot. It's basically like 90s Austin, and just following like kind of like the bohemians and the outcasts in that sort of scene around. Really like just conversations being filmed, but like really wacky conversations, really wild sort of tangents happening.
Yep.
But it's just like, I don't know, there's just something about it. It's just like the atmosphere. You're just hanging out and like in this, town you've never been to, and you kind of get a feel for it and the characters who live there. Yeah, really, really like that film.
So you're talking about Austin, Texas in the 90s?
Yes.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not a documentary, though.
No, it's kind of like it feels like a documentary, but it isn't. It's not really filmed like one either. It's just sort of like, 2 or 3 people in a scene having a wild conversation, and it's sort of interconnected. Like people are like talking about going to like a gig later on in the night, and people coming in and out of conversations. Yeah, it's just a really sort of genuine hangout sort of film.
Anyone well known in it, actor-wise?
One of the drummers from the Butthole Surfers is in it.
Cool.
Rest in peace, actually. She died last year. But the director, Richard Linklater, went on to do... he did School of Rock.
Oh, yeah. That was huge.
Yeah. You know what? That circles back nicely to like book adaptations. He adapted A Scanner Darkly, which is a Philip K. Dick.
Oh,
book.
really? Like, he did that movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That's a weird film.
but he's one of the probably only people to actually do like a Philip K. Dick book justice and actually like capture how strange and paranoid like his writing and his mindset is. Like,
Do you like Blade Runner?
yeah, Blade Runner's good. But yeah, if you've read like Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, it's like a whole different thing. Like they like captured the sort of the world that's built in that, but
The story itself is different?
yeah, like they touch on like the sort of the what is it to be human? What's really different between us and like the replicants? But yeah, there's just all this other weird stuff going in that book that like I don't know. Philip K. Dick, weird guy. Perpetually paranoid. Had a very interesting religious experience, actually.
What do you know about it?
So, like, the story goes is he, like, answered his door, and there were 2 missionaries. I don't know what denomination they were for, but they had the little fish symbol, and he looked at the fish symbol and, like, was, like, blinded by, like, a pink light.
Cool.
And after that, totally like devoted to like understanding religion. Got really into like Gnosticism and
Oh wow.
yeah.
Was this after his famous books were made?
Yeah, pretty much. Like that was towards the end of his life. He wrote.
It's a good time to have a religious experience.
Yeah, but he wrote a trilogy of books that were like pretty like heavily influenced by that experience, like semi-autobiographical, but also just like wild. That was like my introduction to him. Actually, I was like, this guy is
Those books,
yeah.
what are they called?
The Valis trilogy, VALIS. It stands for something. It's an acronym.
Oh,
and
cool.
I believe it's like the satellite that he thought was sort of beaming this information to him.
Wow.
Yeah, like totally wild. Like a lot of like very esoteric religious sort of meditations in there.
Great.
Yeah, and like just some of the like loosest writing I've ever read too. Like he just flips between like tenses and narrators and stuff. Like
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, some people would look at that and say, yeah, this guy's just taken too much like amphetamines and has like lost his mind. But yeah,
It's in the eye of the beholder, isn't it?
yeah, I know. There's like a lot of wisdom and yeah, I don't know. I always appreciate like him using science fiction as a means to like talk about what's going on in like modern society and the people he knows and sort of like I guess like a fable, you know, like a parable. Yeah, parable.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Cool. And have those books ever been adapted to film?
No, that I would love to see someone try and adapt any of the books in the Valis trilogy.
Yeah.
You'd have to be, yeah, I don't know, like on some whole new level.
I wonder, was he very prolific as a writer?
Yeah, he wrote heaps. Like, you know, I think Minority Report's one of his.
Oh, really?
Oh, Total Recall.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, but like the thing with
Oh, that's a great movie.
thing with him is like people adapt his books and they don't really like. They just take the kind of pulpy sci-fi element with it and run with it, and they don't talk about all the very psychedelic writer. Like he wasn't big into psychedelics, but like yeah, just altered
But his
realities.
writing itself is very psychedelic.
Yeah. But yeah, that's why like Scanner Darkly, they really like nailed the like the mood of that book, the paranoia, the drug induced paranoia. And
Yeah, I was watching that, and I think Eve was watching it, and so it wasn't the best experience because sometimes I choose movies that Eve's not really into, and I should know better. Because if she's not really enjoying it, I find it hard to enjoy, and so that movie was really not her style. It was, it was an icky, isn't it? It was weird.
yeah.
There's lots of bugs in it, eh? Like there's bugs crawling all over everything, and it's a really like wobbly sort of what would you call it?
The animation?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was gonna say hue, but that's not the right word. But it's
Yeah, it's
very
like
wriggly and
they rotoscope it, so they filmed it in live action and then they animated it around the yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, I think it like suits the kind of mood perfectly.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And yeah, great cast: Keanu Reeves, Winona Ryder,
Yeah.
Woody Harrelson, Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, Woody Harrelson's in it. Yeah, man.
And yeah, at the end of the day, it's like actually a pretty good piece of like anti-drug. Well, not anti-drug, I guess like a cautionary tale, because like the epilogue of the book is him listing all his personal friends who've died or entered psychosis or just like
The book.
yeah, who've gotten
yep.
sick from their drug use.
Yep.
And yeah, they do that in the film as well, so it's
Oh,
pretty
wow.
cool.
Yeah, shout out to my friend Zach who recommended that movie to me. Did you ever work with Zach?
No, I don't think so.
Short little Chilean dude. Used to work at Manny's. While we are here, I feel like there was a David Lynch mention in there somewhere. And if not, I'm just going to tangent back to David Lynch. What are some other David Lynch movies?
You know what? Can I take a toilet break and then we can get into
Absolutely not. We'll be back.
We'll be back with David Lynch.
Excuse me while I finish my chocolate.
My God, that was good chocolate.
Tony's. That would be a great sponsor.
Yeah. Shout out to Tony. If you want to send me some free chocolate, me plug your old wares. I'll have my people talk to your people.
Hey, Tony. What are you doing with the cocoa?
I'm ethically sourcing it. That's what I'm doing. That's the whole shtick. I get you, Tony. Send me some free stuff, please.
Ethically sourced information. That's a good tagline for this. David Lynch.
David Lynch. Yeah.
Oh, that's what the link was. I was thinking of Eraserhead.
Yes.
Probably because we were talking about fucking really weird, scary movies.
Yeah, so that was his first one.
Yeah.
Really kind of sums up his... yes and no. It sums up his sort of, like, style. But yeah, he's got, like, a weird sort of fascination with, like, Alice in Wonderland as well. That's, like, a kind of recurring thing in a lot of his films.
Yeah.
In fact, Wild at Heart, starring Nicolas Cage and Laura Dern.
Have I seen that?
You'd remember if you saw it. It's so, like, in your face.
I love Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, he's fantastic in it. Like, he dances to, like, thrash metal. He like, falls in with, like, Willem Dafoe. Wears a cool leather jacket.
That's definitely on my list now, just to make sure I've seen that.
But yeah, that's kind of like a really, like, loose, like, adaptation of Alice in Wonderland. But yeah, it's just like a couple who are very much in love, running away from, like, the woman's, like, overbearing mother and committing a couple of crimes along the way.
I feel like with Eraserhead, it's proof that you don't have to enjoy great art in order to be able to recognize it as great art.
Yeah.
Because I definitely didn't enjoy that film, and I don't really ever want to watch it again. But the fact that I remember it to this day, there's so many movies and books and pieces of physical art that you go and see at the gallery and stuff. Music, there's so much stuff that you just forget,
Yeah.
But like that one, even though I didn't enjoy it, it left an impression. So like it's a really great symbol of that. Like you don't have to like something to be able to acknowledge it being great art. What do you think about that?
Yeah, no, definitely. Like, I'd rather see something that I dislike because it's confronting or challenges sort of my perspective rather than seeing something I don't like because it's badly written or like, it's just trash, And and it's like it's good that there are things out there that don't need to be seen more than once. That you're like, okay, like that.
I
left
get
an
it.
impression. Yeah. I will be okay not watching that. There's a couple of things out there that I've seen, mostly in the sort of like horror, like thriller sort of realm. But yeah, it's good. It's good when you like come out of seeing a film and you feel something. You feel scared or like sad or like just like your soul has been wrenched out and thrown away. It's not necessarily pleasant, but beats watching a Marvel movie,
Well, I think most people most of the time probably rate art based upon whether they enjoyed it. And that movie kind of flies in the face of that.
Yeah.
And once I went into a art gallery and I saw the piece of art was basically, it was hanging and it was half an apple nailed to half a peach. Sorry, did I say peach? I meant pear. So half an apple and half a pear stuck together. And I thought, this is the biggest piece of shit I've ever seen in my entire life.
It really says something about society.
And now I think it's a great piece of art because I've never forgotten it. I've never forgotten it at all. It's always stuck with me. And so like my perspective changed on thinking that it was bad because I'm sure there's plenty of things that I've seen and gone, that's a brilliant piece of art. And then like, I couldn't tell you what it is.
Yeah, that is a good point. I guess it's all about provoking a strong emotional response. And in this case, you were just like, "This is shit. This, this makes me angry."
Yeah. Why is this here? I hate it.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I hope whoever nailed that apple to the pear got paid a lot of money, and
I hope they're living in a big mansion.
yeah, wearing their flowy linen clothes and nailing other fruits to other fruits.
Nailing half a banana to half a watermelon.
I'm just gonna cut this banana in half and flip the side so it's like an S shape instead of a.
I'm going to put the peel on the inside. What? You can't do that. Watch me. Does David Lynch have any other films that confronting or, visceral?
Like yes and no. Like there are parts of his films and like I guess in Twin Peaks as well where it's like pretty like surreal and terrifying and like
Twin Peaks being the one that has Robert De Niro in it and he's smoking the cigar in the cinema.
No, that's Cape Fear.
Oh, that's Cape Fear.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, my bad.
No, Twin Peaks is like the kooky like 90s murder mystery supernatural sort of
TV show?
Yeah.
With David Duchovny in it as a transvestite?
Yes. Yeah, that's it.
I love David Duchovny.
I love that Simpsons episode with David Duchovny.
Yeah, that's a top 5 one for sure.
I just thought you could stand to lose some kilos. Yeah, like, yeah, I know. Eraserhead's just like, I guess it's like his first film. It's kind of like punk and like very in your face, and also shot on a low budget, so that sort of adds to the grittiness of it. Yeah, like Blue Velvet's pretty intense, like in terms of sort of like acting and like, I guess.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen that.
It's good. It's yeah, definitely not a date night movie, but
Okay.
yeah, good like crime thriller with like, yeah, again peeling back the sort of like skeezy underbelly of like suburban America.
Any actors I'd know in that?
Dennis Hopper's
Oh, great.
he's an absolute like psycho in that film too. Like
Awesome.
fantastic. Just sexual deviant criminal like, yeah. Kyle MacLachlan, who's in Twin Peaks, and How I Met Your Mother. I think he's in How I Met Your Mother.
I can't put a face to that name.
Yeah, I mean, like, basically everything Lynch has done I enjoy. Like, I'm just a fanboy. The one film I haven't seen by him is The Straight Story, and that's, like, I think he made it for Disney, and it's about a guy who, like, drives his lawnmower across America.
Awesome.
It's just, like, a straight-up, like,
I should
drama.
watch that and Lawnmower Man back to back.
Yeah, one actually has a lawnmower in it.
And it's not Lawnmower Man.
Yeah, that'd be a good like way of doing like movie like pairings, just like the literal one and then the one that's like only loosely kind of thematically or like grammatically paired up with it.
Any other David Lynch movies?
Well, yeah, I talked about Mulholland Drive before.
Yep. That one sounds cool.
Yeah, it's good. Inland Empire, that's the last one he did, and that's like the madman was like, I'm going to shoot this on like digital video, like back in like 2006 when digital video looked like shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really nightmarish sort of film. Very like disjointed and like, yeah, very creepy actually. I'd say that's sort of like a return to like his sort of like Eraserhead, like really just pulling at the parts of your brain where you're like, I don't know why this is scary, but I am terrified. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. And yeah, he did June. He did the first June adaptation.
Yes, he did.
Lost Highway. Yeah, that's
That's a Johnny Depp one?
nah, that's Bill Pullman and Patricia Arquette. Yeah, there's some great scenes like Bill Pullman like playing saxophone in like a nightclub and just fucking skronking his little heart out. Yeah, that's a really confusing movie, that one. Like, I've watched it a couple of times, and every time I watch it, I'm like, all right, I'm going to figure this out. And just
You
like,
never do.
Yeah, that's another, like, one of those, like, Ouroboros films where it just, like, circles back in onto yourself, and you're like, this probably actually doesn't make sense. Like, you're probably just, like, looking for answers where the director was just like, no, I'm just having fun with this. Like, I'm just making a little, like, sort of dream that doesn't have any, like, coherency.
Have you seen American Beauty?
Yes, yeah.
I could be wrong. I feel like that's the film that has this weird intertwiningness with Donnie Darko for some reason. But I'd have to watch them both. Like, there's this weird thread that sort of seems to run through them both to connect them.
I could kind of see that. Like, they both have, like, this really sort of, like, dreamlike
Yeah.
kind of atmosphere to them, and like, yeah, it's, you know, suburban America, like middle class, like ennui, and like, yeah, you know, rebelling against the norm.
Unhappy marriages and
Yeah,
the kids dealing with it all.
yeah, kids who are kind of like a lot more mature than their age, and yeah, it's definitely a comparison I would agree with.
Have you seen Die Hard 3?
Is that the one with Samuel L. Jackson?
Yes, it is.
Is that the one where Bruce Willis has to wear the sandwich board?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I barely remember that. Is that... That's like Hans Gruber's, like, disgruntled relative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His brother.
Yeah. I
His
don't remember...
disgruntled relative.
Yeah.
Oh, man. That's a great name for a character or a band or something. Like, great band name. Disgruntled. Where are you going? I want to say disgruntled relative. So good.
Turn your damn amps down. Meemaw's trying to kip.
Oh, man. So good. Yeah. I always just ask because a lot of people, like me, think that it's better than the first one.
Yeah, I honestly don't remember a lot.
A lot of people don't think it's better than the first one, but...
I just remember that Samuel L. Jackson's in it, and Bruce Willis has to wear the placard. But,
yes, so good. Oh, man.
I like Die Hard 4. I really
No, you don't.
No, I just really like Justin Long. I think he's like the ultimate chiller.
Oh, man. No.
I always say, like, you just killed a helicopter with a car, man.
Yippee-ki-yay, mother... PG-13, bitches. Do you still go to the movies much? Do you go?
Yeah, I mean, like, not super frequently, but, like, I went along and saw Poor Things the other week. That was pretty good.
These days, there's pretty much one actor that gets me into the movie theater.
Mm-hmm.
And that's Nicolas Cage.
Yeah. Well, see, I'm actually thinking of going to see Dream Scenario tonight.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I got a couple options. And that's
that's
one
a
of them.
great idea.
Yeah. Yeah, I have. I went and saw that film he did. God, was it called Pig? Was it just called Pig?
Oh, really? I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, that was good. I saw that in the theaters, but yeah, like
I can't believe his films aren't like making back their budgets. They're so good. Like I don't get it.
one of my favorite ones of his.
I feel like there's some sort of conspiracy. Like even Renfield, where he plays the devil or the demon or whatever, Dracula. Like, how could that not make back its budget? That's so much better than most of the things that come out these days.
Yeah, because like people see him as a joke, and like he kind of is, but also like I've done extensive research into the man. I've like read a lot of interviews, and he like cares about his craft. Like he is like 100% dedicated to being an actor, and he has like a whole like philosophy about acting, and he like really sticks to it. Which like, yeah.
Did you go and see The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent?
I saw that like after it was out in the cinemas, but I quite liked that.
So good.
Yeah.
So good.
I wasn't expecting much. I just thought like, you know, when you're doing like a really referential sort of bit of media, it can go like pretty badly pretty quickly. But like, I don't know, the chemistry between him and Pedro Pascal was just like, it was so believable and like
so good.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it came out a couple of years ago. It's called Prisoners of the Ghostland, and it was directed by a Japanese director, Sion Sono, who
He's in that.
yeah,
Yep,
Nicolas
cool.
Cage, yeah, and it was his.
I'm so excited by the fact that there's still so many of his movies that I haven't seen because he's just been pumping them out. And yeah, I get that some of them are bad and some of them are, but like that excites me that I've got days worth of Nicolas Cage movies to watch.
And even if it's like objectively a bad movie, he just elevates it by
Yeah, definitely. It makes me want to watch it, and the fact that I want to watch it makes me enjoy it.
But yeah, Prisoners of the Ghostland, I recommend that. That's like a Japanese director doing his first ever like English language like American production.
Yep.
Fucking crazy. Like
Awesome.
yeah. Post-apocalyptic. I think Nicolas Cage is like some sort of like prisoner or guy on the run from the law, and he has to like help rescue this like the mayor of this like backwater country town's daughter from like a weird like supernatural cult.
Oh, is this the one where he's got that thing on his junk?
Yes.
And it blows his testicle
Yes.
up? Spoilers, sorry. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're like, oh, that's not actually going to happen. And then it happens. Oh.
So good, yeah. Testicle! Is that where that line comes from? Oh,
yeah.
maybe it's a different movie. So good.
Yeah. I don't know. All the time in the world for my man, Nicolas Cage.
You got a favourite Nicolas Cage movie?
Ooh, I mean, Wild at Heart, like, I do love that. Bad Lieutenant, actually, that's fantastic.
Bad
Lieutenant?
Oh, Bad Lieutenant.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd have to watch
Bad
that.
Lieutenant for our Australian and English listeners. Yeah, that's like just a powerhouse performance.
Who directed that?
That's Werner Herzog.
Oh, it is. Yeah, that's why I was
Yeah.
looking at it. I was looking at his filmography the other day.
But yeah, there's such a like, I don't know, a clash of like egos and that, like Werner Herzog trying to make a film and Nicolas Cage just chewing the scenery, like, yeah, I don't know,
What do you mean by chewing the scenery?
like just like acting his heart out.
Oh, cool.
Like, yeah, like he usually does,
Yeah,
but like,
yeah.
I don't know, he says some terrible things to an old lady. He like, he smokes crack. He like, yeah.
Great.
At Lizard Cam, there's just a scene where like it's just Nicolas Cage staring at the lizard, and then the lizard's looking back at him, and it's just like, this is beautiful. This is cinema.
Eve likes Nicolas Cage, so I can get away with watching those movies with her, which I really like.
I want to say Val Kilmer's in that as well.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, I think.
Iceman. Did you see Joker?
Yeah, I did actually. Yeah.
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 That was one of the last great movies that I saw. Like great movies at the actual cinema.
I was really curious because it's like
I was really just skeptical going into it. Like, I just didn't think there was any way that it could be what the Joker and the Dark Knight was. But I was just never so happy to be so wrong.
yeah. I was like, I watched that and I was like, this is good. I just kind of wish it wasn't tied up with a franchise. I just wish it was like a sort of a standalone movie about like an outcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was curious because like a lot of comparisons were drawn between that and like the King of Comedy and like, yeah, Robert De Niro's in that, sort of playing the opposite of his character that he does in like the King of Comedy. Yeah.
Is Robert De Niro in The King of Comedy?
Yeah.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, he's kind of like, he's like the nut job in that film.
Who directs that one?
Scorsese.
Is that Scorsese?
Yeah, one of his like kind of rare sort of like comedy outings.
Oh, okay, cool.
But-
The film is a comedy.
Yeah, this is a very dark comedy.
Yeah, good.
Very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was cool. Like, I mean, I wish we didn't have to attach everything to a franchise, but it's cool to see that you can release something in a franchise and sort of do something with like artistic merit and get a bit creative with it and explore darker places without cliches. Like, well, I mean, cliches again, subjective, but like, you know what I mean? It's not just like blatant like American propaganda or like, stuff, things blowing up.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
It's got a bit more nuance than your average, like, comic book adaptation.
Do you watch much in the way of like TV shows and stuff like that in amongst being a fan of film?
Yeah, I mean, I got my favorites. Love The Sopranos. Been watching my way through King of the Hill.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. It's funny watching King of the Hill. Like when to me that was always the show that was like getting in the way of The Simpsons or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Like when it was on like Fox 8 during the marathons. But yeah, watching it now, like I think it really does.
Oh, like literally getting in the way. Like, I wish this thing would finish so The Simpsons can come on.
Yeah, but like watching it now, like I think it really does give The Simpsons a run for its money sometimes. Like it's just a lot more subtle. But yeah, it's so well written. It's very, very heartfelt. And yeah, just really funny. Like, yeah, I love Mike Judge. Really just like his sense of humor is just so chill. Like he's not really punching up or down. He's just like kind of saying what he sees, and he's like, Texan accent. It's pretty cool. Yeah, actually, I just finished watching Barry with Bill Hader. I think that's definitely like up there. Like I'd say it's up there with The Sopranos, like quality and also like just how heavy it is. Like it's a lot more absurd and silly than The Sopranos, and deliberately so, but also when it gets heavy and like it goes to darker places, it really goes there, and it's you kind of get you get a lot out of it,
I think I've heard of it.
Yeah, it's a hitman trying to be an actor and just trying to juggle his incredibly violent
Oh, maybe I haven't. Maybe I might be mistaking it with something else then. Sounds
Yeah.
cool. Bill Hader.
Yeah.
Was he the comedian actor?
Yeah, he's like Saturday Night Live.
Like the one that voices Flint Lockwood from Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs.
Probably. I haven't seen that, but
Yeah.
he's in Hot Rod. I found his character in Hot Rod. I think he cuts his thumb off in one of the scenes.
Hot Rod's a good movie.
Yeah. Yeah, I know people always make fun of me because I'm one of the people. It's like you should watch The Wire. Yeah, but
Yeah, I've heard that's good.
that's good. Yeah, people always watch one episode and they're like, "Oh, this is too slow." And I'm like, you just gotta keep watching it.
I mean, it's hard with old shows when you know how they end. Not that I know how that ends, but I know how The Sopranos ends.
Yeah,
So it makes it just a tiny bit more difficult to watch it, but at least you know that it's good all the way through.
I'm so glad I managed to not spoil the end of The Sopranos for myself because I watched it
That's good.
years and years after it came out, and I know everyone talks about the ending, and I'm like, okay, I'm expecting something here, but I did very well. I spoiled some other plot elements, but I managed to watch that and go, whoa, okay.
Did you watch Game of Thrones when that was out?
Yeah, though I stopped watching it after a couple of seasons.
Yeah.
I thought it was alright, but yeah, I don't know. HBO shows can go one of two ways. They can be really really good and gratuitous, or they can just be gratuitous and just I'm sick of seeing people die and yeah. And yeah, Game of Thrones kind of did that for me. I was like, it's a cool world. It's it's not just your normal fantasy witches and dragons kind of bullshit. But yeah, I did think it was just pointlessly cruel.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just sort of stopped watching it.
Yeah. It's just interesting how them not sticking the landing has essentially turned the whole show into just a laughing stock. It almost retroactively turns the first 4 or 5 seasons into it just doesn't have the same allure.
Yeah, and it was huge. It was so critically acclaimed.
It was a fun worldwide phenomenon.
Yeah, even my
don't tell me I haven't seen it yet. As soon as you get to work, sort of thing.
My dad got me watching it, and my dad, not the kind of guy I'd imagine watching a fantasy show, but he's like, oh, you got to watch this, and yeah, he got me into it, and I was hooked. But yeah, kind of just fell off for me.
You know, so something that's really interesting that I found is that I really enjoy watching, like on the right YouTube channel or whatever. There's some people where I really enjoy watching like video essays and video reviews and stuff like that of movies, especially like if people are shitting on movies and stuff like that. I find it so entertaining and I really, really enjoy it. But I hate that about music. I don't want to hear anyone's comments about music ever. I don't want to hear album reviews. I don't want to hear people shitting on it or liking it. Or I only want to hear people talking good stuff when it comes to movies, to music. And I just find that something I've noticed recently, and I find that really funny. It's like it's a double standard, like artistically.
Yeah, I guess I don't know, maybe because music's such a it's your sort of mainstay in terms of creation. I don't know, do you see it as can you see yourself in that situation where you've put out something and someone you don't know on the internet's just shitting all over something you've put your heart and soul in?
Maybe. I think it's for some reason. I think that maybe I hold music to a more sacred, higher standing than I do movies. So it's just I get so much joy and entertainment out of hearing people, certain people that I listen to, either enjoying something or even not enjoying it.
Yeah, and it's kind of it's funny with films when you think of a film that flops and how many people are involved in it and how much money's gone into it, just millions and millions of dollars.
Yeah.
For it to just fall on its face. That is funny.
Yeah. Especially when you can see it coming.
Because, at the end of the day, everyone involved in it still got paid. It's, yeah, I don't know. Kind of like a victimless crime.
Did you ever see, did you watch Star Wars? Were you a fan of Star Wars?
Yeah, I mean,
Till the objectively bad third trilogy was made.
Yeah, in fact I went and saw all three of the new ones and the
oh, that's a shame.
Yeah, I guess I was just trying to recapture my youth or some bullshit, but I fell asleep during two of them.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, and then I appreciated the last one they did because I've never left a film before and just had a 10-minute conversation with the people I saw it with about how bad it was and how angry it made me, and just why did I watch that? What have you done? You've just taken one of the most beloved parts of my childhood and just made that film.
Shat all over it.
Yeah, just so silly.
With a smile.
Yeah. Yeah, so, yeah, fuck those movies. I guess I wasn't expecting too much, but yeah.
So why don't they fall into the same category of as I hate it, but it's good? Sorry, that was not very well articulated by me. I'm talking about how what did I say about the Eraserhead? You don't have to enjoy great art in order to recognize it as such. I guess because it's just not.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's just a shameless cash grab with
horrible,
terrible plot holes and yeah, just
less said about that, the better.
But I'm now a person complaining about Star Wars, so
they've won.
Yeah,
they've won this battle.
That's how
they will not win the war.
Yeah.
Did you ever get into true crime or anything like that?
True, like documentaries and stuff, or
or even podcasts and stuff. Is that ever? Because I've been bitten by that bug. So I've had phases where I just, as opposed to films and stuff, just getting into true crime and some of that crazy stuff.
Yeah, I'm not much of a podcast listener, but here I am on my little high horse. Yeah, I guess I am fascinated by.
If a podcast is in the woods and no one's around to hear it falling, is it even there?
Yeah. Still waiting for that Tony's sponsorship, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely read about. I prefer to read about heinous crimes.
I'm going to sample that. Anything you say on this podcast may be sampled in a court of me making music.
Sick beats.
Yeah, sick beats.
Fat beats.
Or outrageous social media posts.
It's fascinating stuff. Like, but yeah, so I find myself like, reading these things and going, wow, that's horrible. And then I'm like, why did I read that? Like, surely my brain would have been better off not reading about how someone stabbed a guy in the ear with a pencil or something. Like,
yeah. I just wanted to see if it would work. I saw John Wick and I just, Give it a cook with cayenne pepper.
Yeah, I grow cayenne chilies actually.
Oh,
so,
do ya?
yeah, I got so many of them.
Yeah.
It's good. It's powerful stuff.
Strong, hey.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've cooked like a curry the other day, a lentil curry with like a kilo of lentils, and I put, I reckon, a little less than a teaspoon of that stuff in, and whoa. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Compared to the amount of other spices that I can put in, like I can use so much of the, turmeric and curry powder and just various other spices, but that stuff I can't overdo that. That was
it's like, it's not even like, if you're talking like
potent.
Scoville, it's not even that high on the scale. But yeah, I guess when it's in a powdered form, it just sort of like gets in amongst everything and like really like, permeates the food.
Infuses. Favorite spices?
Oh, I mean, I really like sumac. Sumac's
Oh, my girlfriend puts that in salads.
yeah, it's really good in
It's
salad.
delicious, hey?
Yeah, yeah.
Is that many other spices put together, though?
I think it's like a berry or a fruit.
Okay.
And it's like dried and crushed up.
Yep.
Big fan of fenugreek as well. Shout out to my boy fenugreek.
I don't know if I know that one.
Yeah, that's like one of those spices where it's like, once you know it, you'll taste it as soon as you taste it. It's got a very distinct sort of. I don't know if you ever have a samosa, it's like one of the most like prominent sort of spices in that.
What do you put that in?
Like quite a few curries. I've seen a pickle company that does like a Dylan fenugreek pickle.
Oh, wow.
Got some pickles. Got some cucumbers growing at the moment. I'm thinking of ripping them off and trying that myself.
I love pickles.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been pickle-pilled.
Yeah. Pickles and olives. Oh, man, pickles are so good.
Yeah. If I could just subsist on a diet of brine foods, I'd be very happy.
Probably could. Be good for a while.
Yeah. Maybe that's how you can like mummify yourself. You just sort of like
Pickle yourself.
Yeah.
Pickled bray. Wrestling. No, before we go to wrestling.
Wrestling.
Top 5 favorite actors.
Ooh, so Nicolas Cage is up there.
Oh, thank God.
Oh man, love Elliot Gould.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Elliot Gould.
I reckon.
You seen American History X?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in that. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, really?
I think so.
Ah.
I mentioned him, so I guess he's in there somewhere. Maybe.
Yeah. Damn.
I think he is. Maybe he's Derek's mum's new boyfriend.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, I like Elliot Gould. Tilda Swinton. Love Tilda Swinton.
Tilda Swinton.
Yeah.
That redhead.
Yeah. Who else? That's a tricky one. My favorite actors just tend to be like, you're watching like a B grade sort of film, and you're like, it's that guy. Like you don't know his name, but you've seen him in a bunch of other like B grade films as like the henchman or like someone's just got like a really like recognizable face. Like, they're not like Hollywood stock. They're just like, they got a face. Yeah. I love
They're
those
so
guys.
obscure that even you don't know their name.
Shout out to all those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. There are so many faces popping into my head right now. I just don't have names for them. But, yeah, shout out to all those guys.
That's good.
Yeah.
Shout out to the unknown actors whose names we can't remember.
The ones that die horrible deaths in films or, like...
The guy in that film that was also in that other film. You got siblings?
Yeah, I got 3 sisters and a brother.
And where are you in the lineage?
I'm the oldest.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
So they haven't exactly influenced your artistic sensibilities.
No. Yeah, kind of.
Other way around, maybe.
I don't know. I don't know how much influence I exude, but yeah.
Because I'm the youngest, so a lot of what I'm into or what I enjoy obviously comes from what my brothers and sisters left lying around or what they were watching. So
I do.
I got to watch a lot of those like action movies and stuff like when I was really young. So that was good or bad depending on your perspective of what you think about me and my opinions.
I do remember like I went on a holiday recently, and my sisters were talking about my room as a teenager and how they were terrified of it because I just had all these like posters of metal bands hanging up and
Really?
yeah, like like Slipknot and stuff. Like
Oh, that is scary.
yeah,
Marilyn Manson.
yeah. So maybe I've sort of scared them away from the path of rock and or roll.
What about your parents? Like in terms of like movies and even like music and stuff. Like, did they have influence you in any way that you can sort of remember?
Definitely my mum, I think. Like a lot of the fact that I like rock music and everything under that umbrella comes from my mum. Yeah, listen to like Akadaka and Triple M and all that. Yeah, Dad wasn't like very into music. Like when he did listen to music, it was like the Sugar Babes and like Dido and like.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He was a sensitive man. And yeah, film wise, my stepfather actually, yeah, he kind of got me into like horror films as soon as I was like old enough for him to show me like.
Oh, cool.
He was just like, you got to see this. Like,
Did you think that was cool?
yeah, no, it was great. Like, definitely an education. Like,
Did you get along with your stepdad?
yeah, I did.
Oh, that's lucky.
Yeah, and I'm grateful that he could like kind of show me these things despite the strict censorship from my mother when it came to like media, you know.
Because you don't like jump scares.
No, I don't. No.
As I have experienced
Have
from work, me and Bray work together, just in case that hasn't been mentioned. We are co-workers in the warehouse, and Bray gets scared at least once every second day.
I'm worried someone's hiding in the Christmas tree or something now.
Yeah.
I'm like looking around.
It's January 13th, and my Christmas tree is still up, and it's probably going to be up for another month. Because why go to all that effort?
Bit early for a Christmas tree, eh, mate?
Yeah, so not a fan of jump scares.
No. But I'm a fan of dismemberments and flesh melting and people's heads being cut off and.
Man, there's a lot of that in the true crime binge I went on yesterday. Like, I was like, man, am I going to come across a story that doesn't have dismemberment in it? Like, I think it's just people, like, do this stuff that they're not intending to do, and then they're trying to figure out how to get away with it, and dismemberment is always the answer. It never works. Where was I going with that? Wrestling. You fan of wrestling?
Yeah, I love wrestling. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not like I know a couple of names. I've been to a few like live matches. Yeah, I'm about it.
You like the more local wrestling sort of stuff? Did you watch like the WWE when you were at any age point?
I got into it like I think after high school. Like I had a mate who was just like, he was talking it up, and I'm like, I get this. This is just like. This is entertainment in its purest form. Like
Yeah,
it's just
in this purest form.
yeah. It's like I don't know. It's like a soap opera where they get to like actually beat the shit out of each other. Like it's perfect.
Yeah. It's so gut-wrenchingly bad when it's bad, but when it's good, it's just you just remember why you fell in love with it when it's good. It's amazing.
Yeah, I mean,
And
like,
it's really good right now. It's as good as I remember it being in my lifetime. The only time it was as good was prior to me being exposed to it and just watching it all retroactively.
yeah, I wish I could have grown up watching like Mick Foley at his peak, or yeah,
Shawn Michaels.
yeah. I actually like my housemate, like if he can't think of something, he'll just default to putting on like wrestling like videos. And the other day we were watching Mick Foley versus Santa in the boiler room or something.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And yeah, I think like at the end, like Triple H just shows up and like
Of course he does.
just whacks
Kicks
him.
some ass.
He has like a sack full of frying pans or something. And Mick Foley's got this like picture frame, like glass
And
picture
Mick Foley's
frame.
talking to Santa about how he doesn't want to beat him up.
Yeah. And yeah, like, I don't know, amazing showmanship. Like, yeah, respect the hell out of wrestling. It's,
Did you ever see their match at the Royal Rumble?
which one?
Triple H versus Mick Foley?
No, I haven't seen that.
Oh, man, it's so good. I've come across this channel. There's this channel on YouTube where they upload the entire televised segments for a particular feud leading up to a pay-per-view. So if it's, say, like, I'll just pick, like, if it was Triple H and The Undertaker at WrestleMania, they'll show you every promo, every TV segment, every match that involves them, like from whatever the last pay-per-view was, so like No Way Out all the way through to WrestleMania, but not the actual match itself. And it's so good because you can just... I didn't get to watch that stuff live, so I can just watch the entire feud, and, you know, be it like 40 minutes or like an hour and a half. It's just got the whole thing there, so it's so enjoyable.
Sometimes I think the internet wasn't a mistake.
No, yes, it's how we use it, you know. Before I go back to music, cooking. What are your favourite things to cook? What are you're a bit of a handyman in the kitchen, from what little I can tell.
I like to think so. So, I mean, I usually like default to a pasta if...
Yeah, definitely.
But, you know, like... yeah, puttanesca is like my go-to.
Puttanesca?
Yeah.
Is that a type of pasta?
Yes, yeah, like anchovies, tomato, chili.
Man, anchovies.
Yeah, it's a funky little guy, but
salty. Do you eat them on their own?
Oh no, I have, if it's the right sort of pizza, I'll get them on the pizza. I think they like kind of contribute to that, but yeah, they're good as like an additive. You know, it's like just a bit of extra like savory sort of flavor. Yeah, what else? I mean, love making like a stew, braising meat with like something that like.
Do you have a slow cooker or something like that, or pressure cooker? Or?
I just have like a crock pot. I just like put it on the stove. You know, anything that involves like deglazing the pan after you've cooked it. There's that like South Park segment.
You like that?
Yeah.
That's what you're going for.
South Park segment where like Randy Marsh is like on a like phone line and the guy's like cooking a like chicken in a pan. It's like, oh, you gonna deglaze that? Like, yeah, I'm thinking with some white wine. The shallots won't overpower the chicken. Yeah, I feel that. I feel that in my my soul.
I feel like of all the fictional characters, Randy is the best one in terms of like, or the most unique in terms of like someone that went from a background character for like damn near 10 seasons to being like the central character for everything since. Like he just the transformation of his character was just seemingly out of nowhere and absolutely amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, love cooking. I love going to restaurants and sampling new foods. Yeah, trying to grow my own food, yeah. Sort of.
What's your favorite cuisine?
Oh, I reckon I'm gonna say Chinese. Like.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, like in particular.
Like good Chinese. And
yeah.
When it's good, it's just the bomb.
Yeah, like I really like Szechuan sort of Chinese food. But yeah, I also can't fault like a good like roast dinner. You know, like
No, definitely not. I
Yeah.
love Mexican food. Mexican food is just, when it's just authentic, it's just the bomb. I love it.
yeah, I don't know, anything that just like crams a lot of flavors, like interesting flavors and compounding on sort of those sorts of flavor profiles. You know, it's rather than just boiling some meat and having it with potatoes.
Favorite food?
Ooh,
Like if you were going to get a lethal injection?
damn! I don't want to get lethal injection. I want to get like I'm like firing squad. That's how I want to go out.
Okay.
Yeah, blindfold off, cigarette in my mouth.
Cigarette on.
Yeah. Ooh. I don't know. Probably. Probably just like a fried chicken burger, to be honest. Like,
Oh, yeah, okay.
yeah. Yeah, just something with like hot sauce and pickles on it. Maybe two. I reckon 2 fried chicken burgers. I'd be happy.
It's like Tabasco.
Yeah, Tabasco, Frank's hot sauce, or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Tabasco's great.
Yeah. Keep it simple. Yeah.
Do you remember the first concert you ever went to?
Yeah. It's probably like the Wiggles.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
the first like
it's probably a good answer.
yeah, I mean, I guess that's like probably a lot of Australian folks our age's answer.
Yep.
But the first concert I went to, sort of like as a aware human being.
An opinionated young man.
Yeah, went and saw the Black Dahlia Murder, who were like a melodic death metal band, I guess you could call them, up in Brisbane where I was living there. And,
Are they Australian?
Nah, they're from the States.
Okay.
But they were touring with another band called Unearth, who I'd kind of like listened to, like a metalcore band. And yeah, some local band I hadn't heard before was opening, and I thought the local band was Unearth. And then,
Okay.
And then the Black Dahlia Murder went on, and I was like, oh, okay, I've seen the show, and I left. And I later found out that I missed Unearth, but I saw.
Oh, they were headlining.
Yeah, they were headlining.
Cool.
Yeah. But yeah, it was cool. It was like a time when like all ages sort of like.
Sorry, let me just clarify. So you thought that Black Dahlia Murder was unearthed?
No,
And-
I knew it was Black Dahlia Murder. I just
Yeah.
thought the band that played before the Black Dahlia Murder were Unearthed. And I was like,
okay.
okay, all right, cool, they're all right. But yeah, they're just some local band.
Yeah.
With a similar sound, I guess. But the important thing is I saw the band I went to see, so
That is important.
And yeah, it was good fun. And yeah, I really like don't see that a lot now is like all ages shows for heavier music. Like it's usually like a pub or something. So yeah, that was cool. I wouldn't have gotten to see them otherwise because I was like 15 or 16 at the time. So,
Oh, okay. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. How about you?
First concert, aside from the Wiggles, was Pearl Jam.
Ah, true.
Yeah, and that was at Subiaco Oval, and that was like 26, 27 songs.
Damn.
And they played Kings of Leon opened for them,
Okay.
and I was right at the back, and yes, they played for like about 3 hours, and yeah, it must have been like 60,000 people. I'd just never been around that many people before because I'd never been to a sporting game or anything like that. So it was just my first experience being around that many people coming together to do anything.
Yeah.
And so like I always think that I'm still chasing that high to this day. Like it was just mind blowing. And I have a bootleg because Pearl Jam released bootlegs of all their shows, like properly recorded stage desk mixes and stuff. And it's as good as I remember. Like it wasn't my like hyperbolic teenage mind that hadn't experienced anything before. Like it was sonically like a fucking perfect show. The set list was amazing. Like it was just unbelievable. Yeah, messed me up good. Yeah. And the second concert I ever went to was the Foo Fighters. for when they released The Pretender.
Oh, yeah.
I got so into that song and that album and that band. And that was sort of like the opposite experience because like I waited after having been to see Pearl Jam and then loving the Foo Fighters, I'd waited all day to see the Foo Fighters. Like I rocked up at the stadium at like midday, and I don't think the doors opened till like 6 or 7 o'clock. And so it was like the beginning of me just being one of those people that would wait all day to see my favorite band and then run right to the front and have like the best possible spot. And yeah, it's good times. I'm probably too old for that shit now, even though I'm only like 32. Like I'm just not about to wait all day to see a band. I'm going to leave at the very last possible moment to get a decent spot.
Yeah, just fight your way to the front.
Best concert.
Ooh. I know. I got to go see Godspeed You Black Emperor.
Yeah.
That's always stayed in my mind. That was just
What's their most famous album called?
It's got like a long convoluted name. It's like Lift Your Fists. Oh, I'm butchering this. I like this band. Can't remember the full albums. Lift Your Skinny Fists to the Sky, like Antennas or some bullshit like that.
Okay.
Anyway, it's like kind of post rock, like semi orchestral.
Yep.
It's not like film soundtrack sort of. But yeah, seeing them live was amazing. Like they just sounded great. They had like these like backdrops projected. And yeah, just like I don't know, hearing like a cello being played with like really apocalyptic drums and bass, like
cool.
Yeah, just closing my eyes and just sort of like just immersing myself in the sound. And yeah, also like I just thought it was one of those bands I'd never get to see. Like they don't really sort of tour that much.
Where'd you see them?
I played at the Domain. Like it was like a big like white tent.
Oh,
sort of
wow,
setup.
cool. Yeah.
I think it was like the Sydney Festival or some like, city-wide like thing, and they were touring as part of that. So yeah, that was cool. It really stands out in my memory. Yeah. Yourself?
That's a hard one to answer. I'm not really sure. I'm going to say I got to see Bob Dylan. I've seen Bob Dylan several times, but I got to see him once when he toured for this 2013 album called Tempest. He played at the Perth Convention Centre or something like that, and he played 3 nights in a row. And I got tickets for the first 2, and he announced the 3rd one, and we were umming and ahhing about it, and me and my friend ended up deciding to get tickets to it. So I got to go and see him 3 nights in a row, and I just remember the 3rd night was... we were like half-hearted about going, and earlier in the 3-night run, I remember I was saying to one of my other friends who I went with, I was like, we'd never be able to get up to the front. The tickets up the front would be reserved for people that know him and people that are like friends with the people that run the convention center and stuff like that. So that we'd never be able to get tickets like that, And then the night that I went there with my friend, the usher just kept leading us further and further down, and then all of a sudden, like we're like standing in the front row, and he's like showing us these seats that are like front row center, and I could not. I'm almost euphoric thinking about it now. I could not fucking believe it. Like it felt like it's so insignificant in the grand scheme of things, but it felt like divine intervention to me because I was specifically said that would never happen. That was not a possibility. And then here I am, and I'm like just watching Bobby fucking lay it down, and I just remember seeing him at the end of the show when like everyone's sort of... It was even more... I guess in a way it was sort of more than the music itself, but like I guess concerts have that ability, or like live performance has that ability. I just remember seeing him looking up from out of like under his big fucking wide brim hat as everyone's giving him an applause, and I'm fucking front row center giving him an applause, and he's just looking up at the ceiling as everyone's like showering love on him, and I'll never forget looking up at him and just Fuck, it was amazing, bro. It was so amazing.
Do you have the same like set list every night, or do you change it up a bit?
I think he was doing the same sets. Yeah, I think he was doing the same set. Yeah, I mean, it didn't really bother me. Yeah, I've seen him where he mixes it up, and then I've seen him do the same thing, and I think that was probably best for the songs. I guess he's just going to do whatever. It's probably the best things for the songs, but that's why I went and saw the Chili. Well, I'd see the Chili Peppers every single time I could possibly afford, but like they changed their set lists up a little bit, so like I'll follow them around just to see that one song that I wouldn't have seen otherwise. And then Pearl Jam are sort of like the flip side of that, where they'll change the whole set list up. Like you'll get a completely different set list one show to the next, and so like that's what became really like. I think that's one of the things that got me really addicted to those bands is like the Chili Pepper set lists are more the same than the Pearl Jam ones are, but like the jams and the guitar solos and the improvisational side of the music is very different. So like I could listen to Scar Tissue all day because I'm never going to hear the same guitar solo. I'm never going to hear the same intro to it. So it's just always ever changing. Whereas the Pearl Jam song is going to be pretty much exactly the same each time, but the set list itself will be different. But you can just listen to different concerts because the flow of the concert and never knowing what's coming next is it's such a fix when, you know, like those first couple of notes hit and you realize what they're playing and you're just like, no fucking way. Yeah, I've had plenty of moments like that for those bands. Yeah.
Like Dawson seeing Andy Williams.
Andy Williams, yeah. I didn't think he was going to play Moon River, but then bang, second encore. Yeah. That happened recently when I went and saw the Foo Fighters, like, and they played Generator. Like, wow, now, it's like, what? Like,
You have the talk box.
no, he didn't, and that's why it wasn't even in the back of my mind that they could play it, because I was like, well, they don't play with. They don't use the talk box anymore. So, like when I was thinking of like deep cut songs that they might play, when I was like fanboying out with Chris about it, that was not even on my radar. So the fact that they played it just blew me away. It was so good. Biggest concert.
Ooh.
Just in terms of like attendance and like how big just big.
Also, how are we doing for time?
I mean, like I'm good. I'll just sort of keep going, but it is currently 5:36, so we could wrap it up soon if you want.
Yeah, I probably gotta chuff off.
Chuffity chuff. We've been going for a couple of hours, so
Yeah.
yeah.
Time's flown by.
Yeah, good. I wasn't really sort of sure. Like, I kept in my mind that this could just be a terrible waste of time in terms of like attempting to do a podcast.
Yeah.
Because it felt like it took the pressure off a little bit. Whereas like in the past, I've always sort of been like, oh no, we've got to do it.
This is it.
It's gonna be yeah. So I just wanted to
That's
like.
how I break out.
I was like, yeah. No. So yeah, no, that was good. That was yeah, biggest concert.
Biggest concert. I mean, like the last big day out. It's like, yeah, I think probably like that technically, like,
Yeah, cool.
or like maybe seeing Metallica or something.
Oh, when did you see them?
They're like, I want to say that it was like the Death Magnetic tour.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I just like, I wanted to see them, but like Lamb of God opened up and I was just like,
Yes, they
yeah.
did.
I was
Yeah.
like, I want to see Lamb of God more. Like, so yeah, that was cool. But yeah, like big day out. Like, I think I was like fresh out of high school. I was pretty young still. Never been to a like festival before, and like, yeah, getting to see like Snoop Dogg play. Like, I wasn't even.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
And I wasn't even a big Snoop Dogg fan. But I'm like, fuck,
But just seeing
I
him
gotta see Snoop
in the
Dogg.
flesh.
Yeah, yeah, no, it was cool.
I went to the side. I think I came to Sydney for that, and I
yeah.
went to the side show because I was probably seeing Pearl Jam when Snoop Dogg was on, because I think he headlined one of the side stages. But I got to see Snoop Dogg at the. It's probably at the Enmore actually. Now that I think about it, so maybe I have been to the Enmore.
Oh damn, that'd be a
And Mac Miller opened for him, so
Ah, true.
he became pretty famous afterwards.
Yeah, damn, Snoop Dogg at the Enmore. That would have been, yeah, it would have been a
There
vibe.
it was definitely a vibe.
Would have smelled crazy in there.
I have one more question then before we wrap up.
Alrighty.
Did you ever listen to Lou Reed's album with Metallica?
No, I'm saving that for a special occasion. Maybe on my deathbed. Maybe it'll be the thing that finally pushes me over. I'll be like, okay, I can let go of life now. Like, I have no more faith in humanity or myself. Like, it's wild that exists.
I think that's a great... While you're eating the 2 chicken burgers on death
Yeah.
row, like you listen to Lulu to get you prepped.
It just puts me off my burgers entirely. I'm like, all right, I'm done. Just shoot me now. Like, yeah.
Sweet. Thanks, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for making the time. I really appreciate it. I feel like, hopefully we can get together again and do this sometime. I'll definitely make the effort to... I'll listen back to this, obviously, when I mix it and make the effort to listen... to watch... And listen to some of the albums that you mentioned, but, like, watch some of the movies that you're talking about as well. And that way you can give us a bit more... to chew something to chew the fat on.
Yeah, that's the thing. I will tell you movies to watch till the cows come home.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like next time I should bring my sampler or something so we can play some wacky sound effects,
If that's what you want to do,
maybe some farts,
you definitely can.
some oh yeah,
Oh yeah, baby. All right. Well, thanks a lot. I still have to come up with a name for this podcast, and I don't know when I'm gonna release it. I still have to figure out how I'm gonna do all of that sort of stuff in terms of how to actually share it. But to me, that's sort of secondary to actually just recording it. So
that's the hardest part. That and talking to my lawyers and getting the release forms.
yeah. So hopefully
we'll be in contact.
Hopefully it all gets sorted out soon.
All right.
Thanks, Bray. Appreciate it. Bye.
Bye.